Apologies. And he's disappeared. Oh, I love it. Deja vu. I'd like a refund. Where were we?
In the quiet words of the Virgin Mary, come again.
Where were we? What were we talking about?
Red Sea tanks.
Yes, Red Sea tanks. And then I was doing a poll. Right. Well, I was doing a poll, wasn't I? That's right.
Don't do a poll.
I'm not going to do a poll.
Unless you're going to dance around it. Let's watch the viewers skyrocket.
I just love how everybody, and I appreciate everybody messaging me, phone calls and everything. But like when you're trying to fix it, that's the last thing you need. He's always rigging you. I'm like, I know it's not working. Go away.
But they think they're the only one and they're trying to do you a solid, Tom.
I know, mate. I know. Rama's put Drippy obviously makes Tom. Well, do you know what, Rama? Drippy's doing it on. He's hosting Sunday morning chat, so I can't wait to see that one because I'm sure that won't go plain sailing. Anyway, how many Red Sea tanks have you had then, Ron? Now 3. This could be a third.
The one that's on the way will be my 4th.
Oh, sorry, 4th. Wow.
Not due to seals bursting. Sorry, I had a 400, a 425. 425. Yeah. Which, strangely enough, I sold to a member of staff and then it ended up with another member of staff who now has it. So it's been moved 5 times and it's not burst.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
It's being moved that tanks really don't like.
Well, that's a G1 and it's now been moved 5 times and spent a year in a garage.
Yeah. With dry seams.
Yes.
Is that what it is? Dry seams?
Yeah, I think
seams dry out.
Yeah, seams dry out, start to crack, go brittle. Don't buy a fish tank off somebody that's had it sat in the garage for ages.
I only used it for 2 days. See you later.
I think that's what happened with my 8-foot I bought for the shop. It was sat there pretty dry for a while.
Yeah. It's not a good thing. It's a bit like when the road cracks, in winter.
Like
Everything is better lubricated, folks. Let's just agree on.
Oh God, I knew that was coming. So anyway,
if we get these videos monetized and they start getting shared and we make some money, we're going to put that back into the reef community and have little events. Obviously, we're not going to be able to put anything.
So far, it's a coffee morning.
Or we can swear.
Have any sugar.
I vote we take the money and we all go to like Reefapalooza or something.
All right, okay.
I think you'll get infinitely more views if people are just themselves.
But you can't swear. You've got another 55 minutes, Ron.
Okay.
Stop encouraging him.
Do we have any comments now? Are we working? Is everyone back?
Everybody's back.
Yeah.
Evening take 2, evening again, evening. Thanks again. I promise I will not.
Tom, you're now muted.
Yeah, Tom's not good at computers, I don't think.
What's he doing?
I'm not muted.
Oh, and you're back now.
No, you're not.
I'm not muted.
The way you sounded, that was so sauce. It's like, yeah, I got that.
Oh dear. Tom and technology. What do I have to say? You see, that's the.
What is going on? What are you doing, Tom? What is?
You like
I think
one day we're going to be really polished.
Somebody should do an impression of Tom over the top. We can pretend it's him talking.
What was that, Tom?
I got a whole freezer full of popsicles.
That's lovely. Can I have a popsicle? If I was to give you a popsicle, would you like that, or would you not like it? What did you just say there, Tom?
Or I'm gonna slap you right in your penis.
Well, that's not very nice. Tom,
we can settle this like reasonable and sexy teenagers.
I'm not a teenager, Tom. That's inappropriate. Can we move on?
Welcome to the Reefers Network, everybody.
Tom, you're still muted. What are you doing?
I can't hear you, mate. Sort it out, pal.
Oh, no.
So we can spend the stream watching Tom trying to sort this out.
Let's just
Yeah,
Let's
we'll
take
chat
over.
about Tom.
mutiny. Let's just take over. What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about
What did you have for dinner? I had a spicy chicken burger and it was dynamite.
Nice.
I had some Costco chicken wraps. Very Missy didn't like them. She didn't approve. She says, "You're not buying food from Costco again."
Oh,
It's a
is
shame.
Costco not pretty good? I've heard you get good meat from Costco.
I was waiting for something there, but
Were you? Do you want to? What were you waiting for?
Don't answer that.
I stopped myself. I
Don't
stopped
answer that.
myself.
I think you can get a decent, cheeky little sausage from Costco.
Yeah, I've not tried the meat from Costco yet. No.
Yeah. Are you both working this weekend?
We've got a full day at the shop tomorrow. I'm actually quite excited. We've got lots of people coming in. So obviously it's appointment only, but yeah, packed tomorrow, which is nice.
Brilliant.
So hopefully we've got some good overlaps and everyone can engage and have a bit of fun.
Do you have a minimum spend?
I should do, right? You got to spend at least £1 million.
Yes.
Firstborn child.
That'd be great.
Or you can get out.
Yes, get out. No minimum spend. Come and chat, Reef. It's always nice if someone buys something. That's what I'm here for, to provide for my family, of course.
Yeah, I have to say, if anyone's not been to Signature Frags and had a look around, you will not be disappointed.
Thank you very much, Sapphire.
I once got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, which is quite early for me, and went down there, so it was worth it.
Bless
Did
you.
he let you in?
He let me in, yeah. He did interrogate me first, though.
So you did have antiperspirant on, so that was the first criteria.
She's a southerner. She's
if you can
she's from
taste
London.
somebody before you see them.
Do you know what? I think, I hate to say it, but working in an aquatics shop, there must definitely be some weird smells on me sometimes.
It's the flaked food, seriously.
It's skimmer. It's just when you get skimmer gunk on you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you. You can't see you, though, mate.
Tom.
You just swap the mic for the camera, mate.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Hooray.
Oh, mate, I'm not doing that poll again. Anyway. Where were we?
I think I
Can't
will
remember
go
what you're talking
next
about.
time, Tom.
Did your mic stop working because you were doing a poll?
Mate, I'm not even.
Is that what you said?
Say that word. Don't say that word. Right. Anyway, I've lost what I was going to show you tonight. Let's have a look. What we've got
to see you, poll, mate. Thanks.
So we talked Ron tank, get a new tank. So Ron, we'll talk about my week with the tank then, since you started it.
So Tom,
this is interesting.
let us know. It started off with dirty fingerprints.
It did. So I'll set the scene. So on so you kindly agreed to host tonight originally.
I did.
You clearly would have done a much better job than me. So that was a faux pas.
That goes without saying.
Yeah, obviously. And you were on speaker, not that you knew at the time, and I was talking to you through the phone, obviously, and I was trying to explain to you how to set up StreamYard the correct way.
This is how you do a poll, Ron.
This is how you do it properly. I'm going to make a mockery of on Friday. So, yeah, anyway. And you made a comment on the Nano that Rob was kind enough to donate to me for free. And you made a comment of saying it was a bit dirty and it had dirty fingerprints over it. Was that right?
Okay. The reflection was in the background of you. Between the Reefers Network, your onion-shaped head, and the Nano.
Drippy is just stuck with this
said
onion
it.
thing. It's just not going to go away, is it?
It just wrote it right there. So I just... You're the kind of oniony version of Carl Pilkington, which obviously Ricky Gervais should say it ahead like an orange, didn't you?
Thanks ever so much. Cheers. Okay. Wow.
30 fingerprints isn't that
Thanks for
bad
that,
though. I
JP.
mean, I've been sent photos by customers before saying, "What's this in my tank?" And I think a lot of the time people forget that glass is reflective, and I can see them. You know, like
Yeah.
you know, like 45-year-old men in their boxers being like, "What's that?"
Are they doing that on purpose?
Probably.
They get them off. It's like when someone sells a mirror on Facebook Marketplace, right?
It is, yeah.
Have you heard of a purple-headed urchin?
You have now.
Are you wanting me to present this again? Because I haven't got it in the back. It's not on the shelf. It can be.
You had it
What?
loaded.
Oh, you were going to do. It might be actually. We might be able to.
It's amazing. All joking aside.
Oh God, where is it?
Don't trigger it. Let's just keep going with the story. Dirty fingerprints.
Dirty fingerprints, and
Your good lady wandered.
My good lady decided to come into the office and have a look at it, and commented on the appearance of it. And then Drippy rang me when we were in the car because we were going to IKEA because we were we getting some furniture for the office. And he rang me about it, and I can't remember. Got talking. They said, "What have you been up to this morning?" I said, "We talked to Ron. Been really difficult to communicate with a Scot, but we got there eventually." And and the conversation took place about the state of the tank or the Nano. To which my other half said, "Well, I think you should have another tank. You should get a new tank." So, of which I nearly crashed the car because I was just like, "This is music to my ears for the office behind me," and. We got talking about different tanks that I would have, and there was only one tank I wanted.
A Sherman.
Get one brand new. A what? Sorry,
a Sherman.
Yeah, of course, yes. And that would be an Opus tank, the Nios range. I really like the Nios range. So yeah, anyway, so got to IKEA. So that's where we were going. Had a coffee, whatever. As you do, excitement gets ahead of you. Started searching, and I found where are we? I found that they were on offer, which I could not believe. And they were reduced by Lynx Aquatics. They were reduced to £1,000 from, I think it was 1,800, which to me was just like bargain of the century. So I rang the shop up and I said, these tanks, and the guy that answered, he said, it's online. I said, you've got these tanks for sale? He said, yeah. I said, have you got any stock? He said, no. I said, right, okay. But I'd seen one. So I was like, I want one. So I said to Kaz, she was like, are you sure you've not seen it? I said, no, I've seen one ages ago. I think Andy had one at Radical when he was at Radical a while ago. But I'd seen one in grey. So I definitely wanted it in white for the office behind me. So we ordered it. Went through internet. Money came out of the bank. Got a confirmation email saying, thanks for your order. And then I got a phone call on the Monday morning of this week, Monday morning this week, from a random mobile number saying so-and-so from Lynx Aquatics, we cannot sell you that tank at that price because we have made a mistake on our website.
Oh, no way.
Boo.
Yeah. That price is less than trade price.
I know now. And so as I spoke to pretty much everybody I know in the trade, and everybody was saying, so yeah, it wasn't a great experience on Monday. I'll not lie. I'm not going to get too expressive, but so the problem I'd got there was I'd gone out and bought a skimmer for it and an apex for it, or committed to certain bits as well, and I had not got the money to buy the tank full price because I just spent the money that I would have had to buy full price on equipment for it, and I literally got told I cannot do anything for you, so here's your money back, bon voyage. Which I thought was pretty disgusting, to be honest with you. But such is life. So Ron suggested I get a new tank. I nearly got a new tank, and now I haven't got a new tank. But hopefully I'm going to get one shortly. Hopefully Father Christmas will bring me what I want. So we'll see. Got to save a few more pennies up yet. So yeah, a bit of a crap experience this week on that front. But
maybe
anyway.
maybe we can sort you out with some Yorkshire Reefs discount codes.
Oh, that would be epic. That would be epic. What size was the tank? 300. I think it's 280 something. It's about 300 litres, Rama, something like that. But I didn't want something silly big behind me in the office up here, but nice size.
You're going to get the slim or the pro line because they do two different ones.
The pro line with the chunky furniture. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I quite like the aesthetics to that. So
yeah,
that was
very nice.
I really like them. I think they're really smart tanks. I don't think a lot of people have them actually. I don't think they're marketed overly well.
Right.
Being honest, you don't because you don't really see pictures of them.
What I love about them is they're quite a low tank, and you can look down on the corals.
Down into the coral,
yeah.
Well, I went to reef, the new shop that opened last weekend. That we obviously.
Oh, you've been?
Yeah, I went. Andy was on his day off. To be fair, I think Dan is. I'm sure it's Dan who works for him. It's a young lad that he was with him at Radical, really nice lad, and had a look round. Saw Stefan Yorkshire Reefer came in. I had a chat with him for 5-10 minutes because he's got the Opus tank as well. Great shop. I'll give it its dues. I know people are easy to criticise on the end, on the end of a mobile phone or Facebook or social media, etc. But I went in. They put some time and effort into it, so I'll give them the dues there. Modern, clean, similar to your sort of methodology, Sapphire, in terms of entices you into the shop. The best thing I liked about it, to be fair, was the space between the tanks and the coral tables in the middle, should I say, and then the back wall of tanks with the fish on it. Because quite often I've been to shops, I'm sure lots of people have, where you're trying to look at a coral and somebody behind you is trying to look at a fish on the opposite tank, and you're almost sort of like back together or getting in each other's way. So that was nice. And just well organised. 2 types of salt, popular brands. I think they've got Red Sea and they've got the Nios salt on there. So decent salts, for people that want to buy salt from them. And it was just aesthetically pleasing. And I think for me, I'm a big advocate of that. If you keep your shops clean and tidy, it should follow through to how your corals and the fish are kept, which is obviously what people are buying. Yeah, we agree with me. Shall I do a poll? No, I'm joking.
Don't try a poll. Can anyone else do a poll? Yeah.
Do a poll and ask everybody if you should do a poll. So,
it was a bit of a because all weekend I was buzzing that I'd got this tank, and I thought I'd literally got the steel. I mean, the other thing I said to this guy was like, look, if it was an Apex, I said this to you, Randy, the other day on the phone. If it was an Apex that was listed for like 99p instead of £999, I would have known it was a typo, and there was very little chance I was going to get it. But when I googled that tank, and I had no intention of buying it from that shop, I literally was looking for that tank. And you have let's be honest as well. It says reduced. It says price drop, so it's not been listed wrong. Well, I know it has been listed wrong. It's obviously been listed wrong.
Tom, you've only just got the puffiness out of your eyes. Let's just seriously calm down. It's a Friday night. Take another sip of your beer.
Yeah.
So have you bought a tank, or you're waiting to buy a tank, or what? What's going on? Did you get one from Irie?
We're waiting to buy a tank.
He's gonna buy a tank off me. Is the take home?
Woohoo!
Oh,
look at that! Straight in there.
Get it done.
Saleswoman. Yeah. The people do all kinds of things for a new tank, though. I hope this man isn't watching, but there was a man who asked his wife if he could upgrade his tank to a bigger tank, and she said no, not happening. And he wasn't happy about that. He really wanted a new one. So every day over the course of about 6 months, he adjusted the valve on his downpipe. So inside the weir got noisier and noisier and noisier. And eventually the whole tank was horrifically loud.
Gargling.
You're going to have to do something about that tank. It's getting horrific. And he said, yeah, because it's 5 years old. I need a new one. And she said, I don't care. Just swap it.
Wow.
He came into the shop that day rubbing his hands. He had been working on that for so long.
Devious MF.
Yeah.
Wow.
I told my boyfriend when we moved house that I needed to buy a new tank for the new house. Otherwise, all my fish and corals would die. And he said, are you not a professional? And I said, well, it's just what happens. He goes, how do you get them into the shop then? And I'm like, different system. Start rattling numbers off him until he stops listening.
Years ago, when
Never get a
one of my first jobs in retail, I did actually work in a sports store, and this snotty woman came in with this really spoilt kid for the latest Air Max trainers at like £100 or whatever. She picked the trainer off the wall, like the display wall, because it was always obviously the display trainer, threw it at me and went size 7 in that. And I just went, and I was so I went in the back and I was just like, he's not having these trainers. So I came straight back out and went, I'm sorry, we don't have him in a 7. She pulled the tongue back in this trainer that was on display, and it was a size 7. She was like, "You've got them in a size 7." I went, "No, that's display." She was like, "What do you mean?" I went, "Well, they just send us display shoes. They're just single shoes." And I had to convince her there and then they were just single shoes. And she took it up line and sinker. This kid didn't get those trainers. I was like, probably bought them from another shop, but you weren't getting them off me. Anyway, we digress. So, anything else to report? Christian, what's happening with you?
Got a full day of visits tomorrow. Quite looking forward to it. So we've got some returning customers, some new customers. So yeah, the tanks are looking good. The acros are looking very nice at the moment. So very happy with those. The LPS are doing good. So yeah, been a busy week packing.
Did anyone read the article in Ultramarine this issue about ammonia dosing?
No.
A lot of people are talking about it.
Go on, fill us in, Sapphire.
There are a few tanks that are doing this now, and I'm not encouraging people to start doing this, because you can get it very, very wrong. You need to do a bit of research first. But if you are sitting at the right kind of parameters, we're talking nitrates around 5, manually adding ammonia into your tank, kind of split over the day. There is some evidence that corals will preferentially use ammonia over nitrate as a food source, which is interesting. And I thought possibly, when you see those tanks that are massively overstocked with fish and they're full of acros that look insane. I mean, Christian, your sales tanks are quite full of fish, aren't they?
Plenty of fish. Probably too many, I think, now. I am trying something with fish, but...
Well, maybe too many fish is a way of kind of indirect ammonia dosing. If it's being consumed, I don't know,
I think there's an offset there's an offset. So I think with pure ammonia, you're probably going to get better benefits than having extra fish, because you're going to get like pH deficit effects from the excess fish. So I think it's a double-edged sword with fish. Obviously, we like to see a lot of activity in the tanks, right? But I think there's probably more reason to go down the ammonia or urea route over more fish. But sorry,
have you tried it?
The urea
or ammonia, either?
I've tried ammonia. I've tried a lot of that concoction stuff, which is a bit dicey.
Yeah.
Have you had to go with a concoction yet?
Oh, I'm a bit scared of it, because I've heard of it going very wrong. You kind of make a potion and leave it to ferment. You
do. Once the smell goes, it's good, but the smell comes back very quickly.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Have you tried it, Ron?
A bit explosive.
No. You get some crazy polyp extension, like crazy, and feeding responses. But I tell you one thing, that the concoction grows up to ages.
Was it?
Like crazy. Yeah, they explode in growth. So yeah, we've done it through that. I've done it with neat. I'm yet to try the urea. So I have found a source of good pure. It's the beginning food chain, right? I'd say powder, because I ain't gonna pee in a tank.
Do you know what?
Yeah, so Leo does that.
This is freshwater, technically, this little fact, not marine. They first managed to breed neon tetras in captivity by putting a pregnant woman's urine into a tank. Why somebody thought to do that, I'm not sure. But essentially, you have to encourage them with hormones that are in pregnant women's urine to breed.
Wow.
I wonder if that'll just work with just randomly anything you want to happen. You just throw pregnant ladies' piss all over it, and boom, Magically,
You know
it
what?
just happens.
I think we just found Jamie Craig's secret. That's it.
So anytime a pregnant lady comes in your store, you're like, gonna go and just this cup. It's worth a fortune.
Can I use your toilet? Actually, I've got a cup for that.
Just burst in randomly and throw the cup under.
What are you doing? That's all good. It's for science.
Like that scene in Gone Girl.
Yeah.
That's a drinking game where Ron's from.
Put hairs in your chest.
Thanks,
Or
Ryland.
maybe grow a chest.
My chromis have laid eggs again. And it's insane what they do. Let me show you this. I got it earlier. So this is just like, you don't realize how many they lay, the pair of them. So this has happened, I think, last night and today. And there is just so many. Excuse the bit of algae there. And yeah, he's protecting them, this dude. That's just such a small area of the tank when you look at it like that. But like I say, when you zoom in, it's just, there's just so many. It's unreal.
So what's happening to these? Do they hatch? Do they just die off? Are they just eaten by the other fish before they mature? What's happening?
Urchin. My massive Halloween urchin is just like a lawnmower, and he just literally just goes straight over them.
Wow.
So he is attracted to them once they've been laid, though. He actually goes for them.
No, I think he's just systematically going through the tank, and when he gets to the eggs at that time, he just hoovers them up.
It's quite considerate of them to lay them on the glass, because I've always found chromis love to lay them at the base of corals for some reason. Whenever we've had chromis breeding, they've just been like this. They kind of like flutter along the base of them. All the plates are in, and you're like, please stop that. Looks awful.
They do it on the gravel as well, to be fair. I've got 2 breeding pairs out of the 12 that I've got in the tank. There's 2 that lay eggs every 2 weeks. And the clams are normally either a day before or after, but pretty much around the similar sort of time.
Did you say you moved these chromis from an older tank? They're quite old, these chromis.
Yes.
Or were they new to that tank? Yeah.
Yeah.
How old are they?
I'd say at least 5 years plus since I've had them. Yeah. And that was why I always kept banging on about my little idea over temperature, because it just seems to kickstart more of the metabolism in the tank, or metamorphosis, whatever you want to call it, in general in the tank. Corals, algae, bio, divert, everything just seems to function faster with a slightly warmer temperature. And those fish I've had them for years. They've never laid eggs. I've had my clowns for over 10 years, and until they went in this 9-foot display, at a warmer temperature, they'd never laid eggs, and they've been in big systems.
I find chromis tend to start breeding if you have a big enough group of them at about 2 years.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, I think chromis look best in shoals of 15 and above in a tank that's a decent size. There's no point in my eyes keeping 5 chromis. That it's.
Well, I had 15, and unfortunately, they turned on 2 of them, and one of them committed suicide with a wave maker. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you say it was suicide, Tom. I mean, he was maybe having a hard time, just struggling. Watching his eggs get eaten day after day.
This was before they didn't know when they all went in. So they went in 2 groups. They went in from the garage setup that I had for years, and I had a group of them that came out my old Red Sea tank, my 625, and yeah, I decided to just put them all in at the same time when they were going into the. Well, I put the fish in different stages based on the behaviours and the sort of aggressive nature, and I put all chromis in went in last to confuse everybody. It was literally like, right, I'm going to put you all in, and you're all not going to have a clue what's going on. And it kind of worked. But within, I would say, the first 6 months of having the tank, they went through the hierarchy of who's in charge and, dominancy and whatever else.
I bet you could raise those chromis eggs if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Do I need pregnant woman? No.
No, you don't. You don't.
No.
No,
I mean, thinking Ron might be able to help me with that.
Because I've done it before when things like clownfish have laid on the glass. When they lay on the glass, it's brilliant. I mean, you get a Stanley blade, and you slide it along. You get all the eggs, chuck them in a tank that's kept at the same kind of parameters as what yours is, with a sponge filter. Get some little copepods breeding, get some phyto going, get a constant drip going in there, and they normally hatch in the nighttime.
All right. Because people have said it to me before. They're like, "Aren't you tempted to do it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." But then I suppose it's understanding what else you need to. I mean, I could have a little tank though set up on above the sump though, couldn't I? And just plumb it in that way, so it literally is the same water.
Yeah, the problem is if it's got a powerful outlet. When marine fish are born, they're not really kind of fish; they're more of a kind of plankton, I guess, inside.
Yeah,
and they're all just going to slam against that. Even if you put a little mesh on it, they can't swim; they just kind of float about.
Okay. Try it, Tom.
It's a fun project, though. I mean, I'd give it a go. There are lots of.
I'm not saying putting a tank within the. Sorry, I'm saying like like the Red Sea tanks used to have the the auto top up as a separate little tank sat above on the sump. Something that sort of size with its own sort of inlet and outlet basically. So it's not dealing with the flow going through the sump necessarily. So I can control the flow on it. Maybe something I'll look at anyway.
I love a little reef keeping project. I mean, you learn by doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So exactly everyone that's come up with something which now might be really commonplace at one point in time has thought, I'll give that a go and see what happens.
Yeah.
And even if you only get the young on to 3 days, maybe next time they breed, you'll get them to 5, and then you'll get to the point where they're kind of properly free swimming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want an incestuous fish, really.
Oh dear. Kristen, you sent me a video, and didn't you? Let's have a look what we've got here. So are these some corals what are these corals of at the minute then? Things for sale or in the farm, grow out? What are the corals?
Well, I said, what do you think people want to see? And he said, well, I said, you buy SBS. I said, what do you think people want to see? He said, well, I want to see what they look like when they're mothers. Yeah. Now, I thought, okay, so I'll film some mothers and send them. Yeah, I've done a bit of other filming.
Okay. So these are mother colonies at the minute then, yeah?
These are a few mothers. So the thing with my mother colonies, and this is the reason I set up the 4-foot display, is they're always being chopped, right? They're always being chopped. So they've got this kind of malformed growth. So although you get to see the mothers, you're not going to see that really natural growth structure. So I set up the 4-foot display just to get, some of my favorites in there and really demonstrate what they look like as they grow naturally. But yeah, I thought it's just nice to show what these frags are going to become. So yeah, most of these are available as frags in store now. So some really pretty pieces there.
Yeah.
Particularly really nice. I said they're really, really nice.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad my hands are not on camera.
Which one do you like, Ron? Which one do you go for? You go for a shaggy one, or do you go for what's your?
He goes for the shaggy ones.
I'm totally obsessed with just the brightest colors possible. Trainers, t-shirts, you name it. Corals, fish, as bright as you can get.
Sapphire, do you wear orange glasses at all?
Oh yeah, I swear by them.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and I've got very strong feelings about which ones are the best ones.
You like the
got to be the Frets
ones.
I like the D&D ones, but not the ones that exist now. The ones that were made about 4 years ago. They are different now, and the new ones are terrible, and the old ones are brilliant. And I have 2 pairs of them, and that is it.
And for people watching,
skyrocketed.
Yeah, just educate us then. So how do we differentiate? It's like which one's fake and which one's genuine. So if you've got a pair of D&D glasses right now, have you got any in the house right now in front of your tank? Can you get them?
No, one of my 2 pairs is in the shop because it's more useful there. They come back to mine when I have people around. So when people come in the door, the first thing I say is put on the glasses.
So where's the other pair?
The new pair. So the new pairs, if you hold them up to the blue light of your tank, you'll see them really fluoresce bright orange. Whereas the old pairs, if you hold them up to your tank light, you'll just see the light kind of pass through the orange. It's not reflecting at all.
I think they've almost got a kind of greenish tint to them, the older ones.
Yeah, I would say I'd say
Very
they're akin to using a yellow lens on your camera.
I don't know why people don't like orange glasses. Like, why would you not want to look at your corals looking really cool? Like, like you often to some people who come in store and they're like, you don't look at your tank with glasses.
Yeah.
Well, you're missing out.
We
Put them
have
on. Enjoy it.
It's not fake to look at your tank with orange glasses, because that's what the coral really looks like. But human brains can't properly process blue light. And all the orange filter's doing is removing the blue, which is why when you take a picture of your tank with the camera, it looks like a horrible blue washed out mess. And then you put an orange lens on your camera and you think, oh, that's what it looks like. And the same thing's happening in your eyes when you look at your fish tank.
And you know what? You've just put an end to the argument. Like, what does it look like under natural light?
Amazing under natural light. Like
sorry,
a lot of stylos look really good under natural light.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, purple Milka stylo I have in my observation tank, and I've got mangroves growing in it at the moment. So I've got a daylight light separated with a baffle for just the mangroves, and some of the stylos are just in that beam of natural light. They're absolutely gorgeous. The tips are far more colourful with natural light.
Yeah. Pink stylos, I think, are the nicest under natural light. But you know, sometimes I do see if you're looking through an old reef keeping book, and all the photos of when people use kind of metal halides and stuff. I mean, those tanks are always very natural looking, and it's a kind of welcome sight. Sometimes they can look really beautiful, and some people love going for crazy bright corals like you, Ron. Whereas some people want a bit more of a kind of natural look and kind of more muted and understated. And those whiter setups, I think, really, really lean themselves towards that.
I like a mix of both. So when the whites are on, there's that certain coral, like say if you had half of your corals which just really shine under the whites, and then all of a sudden you turn the blues on, it's the other half of the corals you look at.
Yeah.
I love a setup like that. Did you see Polo Reef's post this week with his, you saw it, Ron, yeah, with the radiums? Sorry?
With his drop down?
I don't know, but so he had two tanks.
Afternoon, yeah.
There's two tanks. Radian, like halides, with some T5s, and then an LED tank. And just look at the rendition.
The Illumimagics.
I don't know which LEDs he's got on there. I didn't really pay attention. I think it's Radions, actually. But he's got the two side by side. And the rendition to the eyes, so the colour that you see, hands down, looked incredible with the natural and the Radian with the full spectrum. Check it out on Instagram. Really cool. And I'm so tempted just to put halides over the tables now.
Yeah.
Just why not? We've got a load sat here, but going to go on the new tables. But I think I might actually just put them on the other ones and just have like a LED halide hybrid.
Yeah, I knew somebody who ran both at the same time, and his tank looked exceptional, and his growth was insane.
Yeah, you get much better growth.
Yeah,
but the rendition too, yeah.
Running metal halides, you don't have to run a heater.
You don't.
No, you do.
It's a swing at night, isn't it?
Very hot.
Have you tried the Reef Bright fixtures? They don't get hot at all. Very good halide fixtures. Sorry, Sam.
No, I was just going to say one part of the story I didn't tell you about my tank was, or not getting my tank, should I say?
Oh no!
Was that I ended up meeting two really lovely people this last weekend, and I went there again today to see them to pick up a few of the bits that they wanted to get rid of. And a big shout out to Linda and Sue that Lee put me on to be fair. So this isn't obviously a platform that we want to sort of use to sell products or to sort of push anything, but it is an opportunity for us to sort of support other people in the hobby that might be going through a bit of a rough time. So I asked Lyndon and Sue if they minded me mention this tonight, and they said no, not at all. So Lyndon has been in the hobby for quite a while. There's quite a few people in the Wakefield sort of area. Not that I'm more Rotherham, Sheffield, but it's fairly close to me, to be fair, that know Lyndon well. He's been in the hobby a long time. He's been in the hobby a lot longer than I have. And I don't want to finish this show on a sour note, because we'll because I don't want to at all. But he's gone through a bit of a rough patch from his health, and he's been diagnosed with a terminal illness. And as a result of that, he's unfortunately had to shut his tank down. Now the tank that he's only had for, well, it's getting up for 13 months old. It's pretty much, from what I saw today, a brand new tank. The condition of it is spotless. I just said I'd just give him a bit of a shout out, because I think we could all sort of, I hope we can all sort of understand where he's coming from, that he's been a passionate reefer for so long, but because he's having to shut his tank down, and a lot of the stock, I think Lee took a lot of his stock and he's sold a lot of equipment to people, but he's left with this empty tank that, to a lot of people, I think the only analogy I can kind of use, it's like losing a dog or a cat and then being left with the basket to just keep looking at every day. So he kind of wants to move it on. So if anybody is looking out for a tank, on a more positive note, I'd like you to reach out to Sue and Lyndon, because it's a cracking tank. It's a D&D tank. It's literally like brand new.
It's immaculate, isn't it?
It is immaculate. There's no marks on the glass.
Careful.
I would honestly give it, from the tanks I've seen secondhand, I would say I would give it a 10 out of 10. They've really looked after their equipment. It's got full receipts. They're in Wakefield, so it's a D&D Pro 1500, satin black, 13 months old, and they have all the original paperwork and receipts for the tank when they bought it. And if anybody is tempted, reach out to Sue. You can contact her through Facebook. I'll put a profile there in the bottom left-hand corner if anybody wants to talk to her through Facebook or Messenger. I think it might be on eBay as well. But what I will say is, if you are thinking of travelling and looking at the tank, they have literally said, get in touch, go and have a look at it. They'll make you a cup of tea and coffee. They'll talk to you about the system. They just want it gone because they don't want a constant reminder of the situation of him having to shut his tank down, but they're not going to give it away for free. I mean, these are $2,500 tanks, I think. Somebody correct me there. They're not cheap. The cabinetry is insane, really good quality. And what I will finally say is that if anybody's considering driving up and buying it, and they need they need a pair of arms and legs to help them lift it in, then message me. I'm not too far away. I'll gladly go and help them, because Lyndon's in no fit state to be lifting any tanks. So shout out to them both. They've been absolutely, when you just meet a couple that are just really down to earth and genuine, and it's such a sad situation for him to leave the hobby. But it does happen. I took him a bottle of Jameson's because I said the least I could do is buy you a drink. So he's got a scotch on me. And yeah, if anybody's looking for a tank or know somebody, please do mention that to them, because it's a cracking tank. So, but no, it was lovely to meet them both today. But no, on a more positive note, it's Friday night. That means it's Saturday tomorrow. Any plans for the weekend, anybody? You've got people at Shop Christian, Sapphire, working?
Working, yeah. Saturday, Sunday is the busiest. So I'd say Saturday's kind of the start of the week in a way.
Yeah.
You spend Thursday and Friday preparing for Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, we've been scrubbing every surface today. Every tank is immaculate. We've had Louise on it today as well, so it's extra shiny.
Yeah, I cleaned the backs of some of the display tanks today, which is not something we do hugely often.
Wow.
Cleaning all the coralline off, that takes a while.
I just bought a new scraper for that. I'm really upset. I bought one of those long flipper scrapers. The one with the handle that won't bend.
Yeah.
And it comes with a plastic card.
Yeah.
I was like, for God's sake. So anyway, I've given it a go, and I've made a start on this 4 foot the back. And I'm that far into it that I've got to do it. Do you know what I mean? When you've got a half-finished job, it just looks obvious. So it's like half coralline and half immaculate, but it's such hard work with that plastic scraper. I'm going to be here till God midnight scraping it.
You know what? I'm a massive fan of those Tetra ones. They cost all of £6.
Oh, the black and green ones.
That's the only one I use.
Yeah,
is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Every time.
Yeah, but you use it. I'm sure you still use it. Do you use it in the shower as well, Ron? Or is that just
yes, I quite often find coralline growing on my purple-headed urchin, and it is the only scraper that gets rid of all of it around the rim. So
around the rim.
Yes.
But yeah, they're brilliant. They're really cheap, and you get a pack of replacement blades, 2 of them for like £3. Yep. My favorite trick with them is once you think the blade is blunt, take it off, flip it over, put it back on.
I think I'll do it.
It's sharp again.
But they're on unlike the a lot of the other ones, they're actually on like a hingey thing.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter what angle you're scrubbing at.
Yeah. Because I do the bottom up underneath my cantilevered scape with it when it's really, really in ground. And it bends with my arm. They're absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the cheapest thing you'll ever buy for a reef tank.
Okay. So it seems that we're talking about favourite pieces of equipment under 20 quid. Any other suggestions?
Can't
It's
see
got
the
to be a
best.
turkey baster, isn't it? It's got to be a turkey baster.
Baster. Put it in the comments. What's your favourite bit of reefing equipment that you can buy for less than £20?
Oh,
Maxi Jet 1000.
Pack of reef roids.
A pack of reef roids. Okay.
Yeah.
Is the smallest pack below 20 quid?
Yeah, it's like £14 something, I think.
Oh.
Mm.
I only buy the big bag like once a year.
You ever tasted it?
No.
Oh, God, you're sick. Have you tasted it? I bet, do you put everything in your mouth that goes in your tank?
I can't believe you just said, have you tasted it? Because that is one of the slogans off of my Discord. Have you tasted it? We actually have a t-shirt with it on the back. Have you tasted it?
Yeah. I've at least sniffed everything that we sell.
There's going to be a t-shirt.
Tasting it slightly different.
But your Phyto's less than £20 from memory. Is it 10 quid a bottle?
Yeah, that's a tenner. Yeah. Yeah,
See?
there we go.
Plug.
Yeah, I plug that. It's great. I harvested it today. It's thick. Is the word I'd use to describe it.
Girthy?
It's viscous is the right word you're looking for. It's viscous.
Ah.
There you go. Dense. Viscous.
Yeah, Phyto is the organism that makes reef tanks go round, I think.
I need to trade some Phyto with you. 100%. I need to get some of that now. This Tetra is not very thick. Good stuff.
I've put it under a lot of par, to be honest, to really thicken it up. It's got proper lights under it now. Not like Radians, but, you know, a bit more than some LEDs.
Yeah, I've got a big 150 watt CFL, big compact fluorescent. I tell you what, that grows Phyto well.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Overkill.
Get your
I
mind
don't know,
out.
it's under 20 quid, is it?
What's that?
A bottle of iodine. That's always
Iodine.
worth it.
Okay.
There's not a single tank with corals out there that doesn't need iodine.
Right, what about the cheapest? The cheapest, most useful thing for a reef tank? The cheapest.
Ooh, good question.
Pennies. Pipette.
Yeah.
Just splosh
Pipette.
it.
Cut the nib off a pipette. So it's got a fat end. You like that
Yeah.
one?
You look like you're going to smoke it then.
Fat end, right? And yeah, it's perfect for making a really thick soup to feed LPS corals. And it just lays like a turd on their mouth, like a little thin turd of food.
Yeah.
Pennies.
Okay.
Pennies for a pipette.
Ron, you look like you want to say something. Come on, jump
Say
in.
it.
Not me.
No.
Oh, come on, turd's not swearing.
We're talking about thickness, girthiness. You just said basically turd in the mouth. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, but I'm talking about feeding an LPS coral, mate. I'm talking about eating it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, mate, what's this turned into, man? God, this is bad for
Anyway,
animals.
so you two are working tomorrow. Ron, are you working tomorrow? What you
Is
do?
that a joke?
What's the plans for the weekend?
What do
Salty
you
banter?
think? What do you think?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, I'm saying, what are you
garden
doing?
centre.
Not your staff. What are you doing?
7 days a week. 7 days.
Managing chaos.
I'm working, yeah. So, yeah, no salty banter this weekend because I had this today and then live stream on Sunday, and I was like, too much YouTube. I'll run out of steam.
Yeah.
Are you all set for Christmas at the garden centre, Ronnie? Do you do a big thing for Christmas? Big show? Lots of decorations?
So
Please tell me you're Santa
Christmas.
Claus. Please
No.
tell me you're Santa in the grotto.
No.
You look like
I want
a
to sit on
Santa
his
in-
lap. Come on.
The local council do not allow me to be Santa anymore. There was.
Oh, there was an incident.
Well,
They've got to register for that, haven't they? Yeah.
That's how I met Lee.
funny story. There was a Christmas book in a garden centre years ago when I worked in, and it was "That's Not My" was the name of the book. Okay, and one of the pages was "That's Not." So it was a feel and touch book, right? So that's not my. I think it was Frog. His skin is too shiny, right? And then it got to the last page, and it was a Christmas theme page, and it was "That's not my Santa. His sack is too rough." And it had a ribbed bit of paper that you were supposed to. So you were to rub Santa's sack because his sack was too. But it was Christmas Eve, so he probably shaved the week before. So he's starting to grow back in Christmas Eve before he got on the sleigh.
Yeah.
At least it's not one of those children's books with like the hole, you know, where you put.
Oh man.
Peekaboo, peekaboo Santa. Here comes Santa's sack, children. And not a square in sight.
I think I'm going to cry now. I'm sorry, everyone who's tuned in to watch this. I'm really sorry.
I mean, it's always going to end in tears with Rob.
I don't think, Christian, you shouldn't feel that you have to apologise for yourself. It's fine.
You call Peter Claus, is what Drippy's saying.
Oh wow, what a name!
Yeah.
Yeah, me. Anyway.
What about you, Tom? You didn't mention yourself. What are you doing this weekend, mate?
I'm doing a water change tomorrow. Woo!
Oh, are you still doing water changes?
Yes. I like doing water changes. I love spending money on salt for 1,500 litres of water. Yeah. No. I like water changes. Keeps me in tune with the tank. Stops me from being a lazy reefer, or I like to think it does.
Oh, I
Makes
think
me test my water.
Jim has a suggestion that you could do something this weekend, Tom. There we go. You could do a tank tour.
Just open it up.
No.
No. I can see it. I'm just ignoring it, Ronald.
Oh, okay.
I saw it. Yeah, I think you should do a tank tour. Why not?
Thank you, Christian.
You want me to do a tank tour? To be fair, I put the last one off, didn't I? Because the skimmer broke. The skimmer is working now, and and completely blitzes the Deltec that I had on it. So yeah, definitely glad I got the skimmer back on. I'll do a tank tour with you, but it'll have to be Sunday though.
That's fine. Let's get it booked in. Christian's even thrown his name in the hat for a tour of his farm.
Wow, we'll do that. Why not?
Sapphire, would you be up for giving us a tour of your shop?
Is the sleeveless reefer?
Yeah, that's Jason.
That Jason. Hi, Jason. Sorry, mate. Of course, it's the sleeveless reefer. Of course, it is. Yes, nice to see you, mate.
What a brilliant idea! Everyone who works in a reef shop should wear a tank top. I've always got wet armpits. I don't sweat. It's just the tanks. Everyone should have a tank top.
Do you wear
a tank top?
Do you wear a tank top in the shop?
No, I will do now. But that's why they're called tank tops, isn't it? That's how they got their name. So you can work on your tank and not get.
Yeah, I'm kind of used to having like wet, salty armpits at work now.
It's when I go to post office, it dries off, and I've got a big white patch. It doesn't look like
You're not helping either of you with the right.
It's just got into depravity, isn't it? What was I trying to kid? Trying to think we could be professional.
It's like
and high level and keep it interesting and fun. It just
you're at the window outside with a pint of beer going, That's what's going on.
So I'm going to do a water change tomorrow and make my tank look pretty, and I'll do a tank tour on Sunday then. Deal?
You're going to do a tank tour this Sunday?
Yeah, why not? I'm not scared.
Let me get it booked in.
Why not?
Is everyone up for that in the chat? I think pretty much everybody's up for that. What time would suit you? We need to be at the usual time, 3 p.m.
Yeah, do it. I don't care. Let's do it.
Cool.
Yeah, then.
There we go.
Want to do a poll?
Look forward to seeing the tank tour.
I'm not doing a poll at all. Oh dear, lock that in. It's in, Jim. We'll do it. We'll do it Sunday. To be fair, tank's looking out of jinx it, but yeah, the tank is looking pretty sweet at the minute.
It's the power of peer pressure, though, isn't it? It's great. What a great thing.
Isn't it?
The tank is looking good, to be fair. I'm quite happy with it at the minute. It's just, got to do the gravel. A few other bits and bobs. We're all good.
Liam's asking where he can watch the tank tour.
You can watch the tank tour
through Tom's bathroom window.
He can come to my house if he wants. That's what he's asking me. That's what he's asking me for? He'll come round.
No,
I want a bucket of salt, actually.
You need to join the Discord, and then there'll be a link to it there.
Oh, we're looking for a plug. Sorry, I didn't realise we were looking for a plug.
Oh, he's looking for the plug, not me.
Okay.
I don't know what kind
Ron,
of plug
Ron, where can people join the tank tour?
It's on the Reefing AF Discord.
Okay.
Finally.
Oh, I can't miss this. Please tell me it's live.
Yes,
it is. They are done live, Drip. Yes. They are done live.
It's a shame you're not there, Drip.
It isn't.
Shame you're not there in the background.
Right. I've tried to create this little bit of community, and all I get is bullied. So there's a number somewhere I'm sure I can call, but yeah, I feel like I definitely need to call it with him.
Tom, don't shed any more tears. There's been plenty.
You know what else makes you cry? Cutting onions.
Do you mean banging himself in the head?
Sapphire, help me out. I've tried. I was kind to you. I was nice to you. Shall we all go round to Thomas for the tank tour? You can come round. You're more than welcome on Sunday.
I'll close the shop especially. And I'll put a sign on the door saying, come to this address, and I'll write your address down.
Fine.
Free salt.
I might not be in, but you're more than welcome.
It's all right. Everyone's texting your WhatsApp at 2 a.m. So the least we can do is turn up at Tom's. It's fine.
Yeah. It's funny because I can tell when people are messaging the WhatsApp when they've been looking at their tank after they've been drinking all night, which seems to be common, Yeah. Sat by your tank all evening, like drinking wine, and then you're like, what is that thing? And you get this like blurry photo that looks they've like taken it as they're falling over.
Well, I asked this ages ago, Saf, if people had ever made any drunken reefing purchases. I think there was only a couple of people that commented, but I'm surprised there's not more people that have made drunken purchases in the reef hobby.
Do you want to know what Bernadette bought 2 weeks ago whilst having a drink?
Whilst being intoxicated, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
She bought a train.
A train?
Yes, a train.
Okay.
Is this like a miniature train to go around the garden centre?
Please elaborate.
No, it's a big train. It was on an auction site, and she said,
a real one?
That'll look good in a Christmas display. I said, yeah, it will. How are you getting that here?
On the train tracks.
Anyway, we turned up.
No, seriously, a full-scale train?
Not full size, but
all right. Not tickets, please. No,
not far off it. No, you can get on it. A human size.
Oh, really?
Yes. And she's like,
fish tank.
And then she says to me the next day, "Oh, I'm still the winning bid on this." Luckily, she got outbid. But when we went to pick up the shopping trolleys that we did win, an plethora of shite she bought. Seriously, rubbish. There was a huge articulated truck with a gigantic high-ab crane to pick up the train. And she said, that'll go in our transit. So yeah, just don't drink and go on auction websites. You might buy a train.
Wow.
I think people don't make a lot of drunk reefing purchases because most people make their biggest purchases in a shop. Yeah. Right. And you don't turn up to the shop already drunk normally. Although I have seen people turn up the morning after the night before, and there's been no sleep involved yet. I have witnessed that.
I bet you've got some charm, Sapphire, though. Do you not, you want to buy that. Look really good in your tank. Christian does it. Christian does it all the time. He's like, oh, come on here. Come over here, look at this, look at this, look at this I've been working on. Look at this. Look at
I just get excited
the
about
orange glasses on.
nice corals.
Yeah. Do you know what? When you have customers you know quite well, you get to know what people like and what they think is special. And if
Yeah.
you have something hidden or, you know, it's not maybe hugely on display or there's only one of them, you might say, oh, take a look at this, you'll like it. And you don't always mean it in a kind of buy it way. But you're like, genuinely, that is nice to look at. So you may as well while you're here.
It'd be pretty boring if we weren't enthusiastic about our stock for any customer that came in, right?
Yeah.
You got a buzz. I look at these corals every day and I buzz, you know, whichever ones are doing well and great and something's recovered or something I picked as a brown turd is just now just beautiful and amazing because I saw a little bit of potential in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to share that. That's the hobby for me, right? That's where I get my enjoyment.
Yeah, and particularly corals that you've spent time growing. As soon as they go out for sale, I mean, I feel quite proud of them. And then if people say that's nice, I think, yeah, do you know what? It is nice, and I've nurtured that, and now it looks like this. So you do get a bit attached in a way. I get attached to certain fish. I mean, occasionally you'll get a fish that is just the absolute like prime of its species. It is just like an amazing example. And those fish I feel really like, you know, proud of them. And when I do get those ones in, I will text people before I've listed it as being for sale on the weekly fish list.
Yeah.
Say, just to let you know, we've got this in and it is a particularly good one if you want me to hold it.
Nice.
Because I like fish to go somewhere where they're going to be happy and live a long life. So the people who care about those species will do that. Like Moorish idols, I always get quite tight with them. I don't know why. I just I don't like selling a fish until it's feeding, right? And we're really good at getting Moorish idols feeding on good, nice, fibrous, healthy food that they can live on long term. And every Moorish idol we've ever sold is still alive. Every single one. And when they're ready to finally go, I'm so proud of them. I miss them. There are certain things in a shop that they're the first thing you check on in the morning when you get there.
Yeah.
Have you got cameras in the shop that you look at that you tune in on? Because I know Christian has. Have you got cameras run on any of your setups?
Every single tank and sump.
Have you?
Yep.
So is that a no, Sapphire?
No, I mean, we've got some CCTV that we can access from anywhere, so we can see if like the floor is wet. But we've got a lot of monitoring stuff on every tank, so that, I mean, if something did go wrong, we'd get an email before we could check on a camera. And if anything like that did happen, we just go to the shop, wouldn't we? I mean, there's always someone there.
Do you ship? I didn't know this. Do you ship livestock?
Yeah, we do ship corals, not fish.
Right. Okay.
We'll ship most things apart from some acros. I'll be honest here and say I'm not incredibly amazing at updating the website with corals. It is really time consuming.
Yeah.
So what I would say to people generally is if you see a picture of something on Instagram or Facebook or wherever and you think I'd like one of them, just message us.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way. There are some corals on the website, but that is nowhere near our full selection.
I mean, because you put a lot of time and effort into your website, don't you, Christian? To be fair, because it's annoyed me. I've gone to the shop and I want that one, and it's been sold. But then that's the flip of the coin that if you're buying off the internet, you want to make sure that the one that you think you're buying, you're getting. So I know Paul Hughes has talked about this quite a lot about AAC with what he's going to do to try and avoid exactly that, because you've got both sides of the coin, haven't you, to keep people happy. You want people to walk into the shop and say, I want to buy that, but then you've got people online that want to make sure that if they're having it shipped to them, they're getting what they've paid for. So, I
mean, the chances of that happening at the exact same time, it's not hard to check the website.
No.
And that's what I do straight away. If someone likes that frag, let me just check the stock on the website. I used to move it all, but then you have a big area of frags where everyone gravitates to and they're like, oh, can I buy that? Can I buy that? Can I buy that? And it's not for sale. Do you know what I mean? So I just keep them with all the rest of them. It takes 2 seconds to check. It's happened once.
Yeah, which is the beauty, though, of having an appointment-only shop. I mean, we can have it when there's 3 of us working at once. There's 10 people in the shop. Things are flying out left, right, and centre. You're trying to get through all the customers and chat to them all and ask them how their tank's doing and make them a coffee and faffing around looking on the website with wet hands.
Do you still get that where customers will just before I was when I was just a hobbyist, I used to go to my local Wharf Aquatics. It'd be like import day, and they get some new corals, and it's not your turn. You've got to wait a little while. There's 3 people ahead of you, and you see a coral you want, and you just stand in front of it. And the people that are getting served don't ask for that coral, right? No, I'm having that. I'm just going to stand here and block the view. No, do you get that?
I tend to have a Sharpie in my pocket, and even if I'm bagging something up, somebody will say, "I want that," and they're not saying it in a kind of bag it up now way. They're like, "I get my place in the line, but can you just that one?" And I'll just write "sold" on the glass or on the table or whatever, so then they can mill about and do whatever they want. So there are all kinds of little bits scribbled on things so that people don't have to hoard.
I'm conscious that you've joined us tonight, Saf, and there's some people in the comments that probably want to ask some questions here. So apologies due to my technology hiccup as per usual. Anything you want to ask Sapphire tonight, please throw it in the chat. If I've not seen it, I will throw it on screen as we get to the end of the stream now and get to wrap up. So John's saying this is just a general question, I think, for everybody, really. Why can't we see more shops selling soft corals?
I'll tell you what we will do, John.
Sorry.
I mean, Paul Hughes is big on soft corals. He's going to be doing online soon.
Yeah.
I've got a load of soft corals that are going to be fragged, so sorry, Sapphire.
Yeah, we've got loads as well. If you know what I will say is shops buy in what the person buying in the livestock or growing the livestock thinks looks nice. Everyone has favorite things. Christian's favorite things are acros, right? He's always got loads.
Yeah.
Right. I love gonnies. We are going to have more of that type of thing. If your shop doesn't stock the corals that you want to be seeing, try a different shop, shop around. The people with the best tanks go all over. If you shop exclusively at one shop, you're going to end up with a tank that looks like their display, which you might want, but also you might not.
I think as retailers, you can't expect loyalty. I think a lot of the fun of being a hobbyist is that quest to find that new coral, that new exciting coral. At least it was for me before I had a shop. So I don't expect any loyalty from the customers. Of course, I love repeat purchases, but I'm not going to get pissy at them because they've bought a nice coral from somewhere else. I'll buzz for them. I think brilliant.
I don't mind about corals at all. And sometimes people will buy something and I'll say, that is really nice. Where'd you get that from? And they'll tell me and I'll say, yeah, it's beautiful. And then I might message that shop and say, you got any of them going there? Have them, please. Or I'll say to the customer, grow it a bit and I'll chop a bit off. Give you a bit of credit.
Ron, are you still plugged in? Are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm trying not to be rude and talking over people. This isn't about me. So
what do you think about soft corals? Is it something you do or you get an appetite for it?
We got a new member on the Discord this week called the Bearded Reefer. Do you guys know who that is?
I do. He's called Ross. Ross Kemp. He's in Scotland, right?
The Bearded Reefer, or because there was one in the chat here.
Yeah, that one.
The fish guy.
Bearded fish guy. Sorry, yeah. So he's called Jack, and he joined, and he's got a whole load of tree corals in his tank, and they are stunning. But they actually look like trees, big, solid, bolt straight trunks and branches on the top. Absolutely gorgeous. So it's made me think about it a wee bit more. I've got a whole load of tree corals in the shop tank and a huge toadstool leather and some mushrooms, things like that. Just easy to look after stuff.
Loads of different toads. Yeah. I say I've got loads. I've probably only got about 10, 12 different toads, but they're amazing.
That's still a diverse amount of toads.
Yeah, but I never ever put them on the website. I never do. It's funny enough, they sell from in store.
Yeah,
get them on there, Christian.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's really hard finding nice soft corals. I don't mean that as like the really, really, really nice ones. They're so rare, and people have got them squirreled away in the tanks. You know, like the multicolored like Kenya trees with the different colored pink polyps and things like that. Just
gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
We've got two really, really nice, incredibly long tentacle like toadstools in our Reefer 250 in the shop. I did put like a little video of them on our Instagram story today, actually, because I tipped in a load of phyto and they're all over the place. They look like torches. They're amazing.
I love them. There was a shop near me when I was before I had a shop. Dragon Carp, I think they're called, up on Junction 25. Some people might know it. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, they had long tentacle toads, and the tentacles must have been 3-4 inches. Most incredible things I've ever seen, and I've never seen them anywhere else that long. And I never got a frag. I kick myself to this day. Beautiful. Yeah.
I had a big chunk of the kind of blue Suspicularia years ago. It was actually in the tank that got boiled, and I've never seen it since.
They're gems. Those
gorgeous
corals. Gems. You can't find them.
Yeah. I mean, you know, wholesalers don't bring in a whole heap of soft corals that are nice, rare, expensive ones. It tends to be just green or brown lumps. You know, that looks like a piece of flesh. Cool.
Yeah. I think there's still a lot of hobbyists out there that don't use social media, do they? You know, in terms of advertising what they've got in their glass box almost. So I think there's a lot of people scattered around the UK that will have some of these gems that we just don't know because we're not in part of their little network or little group of friends.
Well, my toadstool leather that is now about 3 feet across in the shop tank came from a guy's garage in an unheated bucket of salt water. Do you want that, mate? He just literally said, I think I was picking a bucket of salt up from him or something, and he went, "Want that, mate?" I went, "I'll give it a shot," and I just literally threw it in my tank. But it just, I mean, that thing had survived. I think it'd been in his garage, unheated bucket of salt water for 3 days.
Yeah.
And it was just like a fist. It didn't look like a coral. It just looked like a fist.
This might be a bit of a controversial opinion I have. I don't like people starting reef tanks with soft corals because I think it makes you a lazy reefer.
Oh, that's okay.
Because they're so forgiving.
Soft corals are basically unkillable. You can keep them in terrible water and they will look nice. I think when people start a reef tank, you tell them to get their nutrients stable, level, understand what KH testing is, and put some LPS in because you are forced to look after it. And it's really obvious if it's unhappy, right? But something like a softie, it might not show any signs of being unhappy. And people will be like, I don't need to test my water. Looks great in there. And then they sit around on softies for 6 months. They go, I'll put some torches in, and they all die, obviously. And they go, I don't understand why they've died because my toadstools are doing really well. And I'd say you can keep a toadstool in a bucket in a garage.
There you go.
What I normally say is a toadstool will be happy in a puddle on the floor, but that is my reefing controversial opinion. And I start a lot of new reefers in our shop on LPS, and most of them still have that LPS going now.
Cha-ching. You don't want all that cheap stuff in the corner. Come and get this huge Lobo.
You know what?
Love a Lobo.
The worst thing is getting really, really into a reef tank, and you're starting to put some nice stuff in there, and you're running out of space because the GSP and the Xenia and I don't know something else
or pallies
are taking over all your rock work, and once they're in there, you can't really get them out. You're going to be fighting them forever, you know, unless you want to strip your tank down and put new rock in and give it a restart. So just don't start with the wrong corals. I always say start as you mean to go on. Like look at some tank inspiration pictures on Instagram of tanks you like the look of and start working towards that.
Sound advice, I think, there.
Totally agree.
Jim saying, thanks, Sapphire. Or Saphir? Safer.
I respond to a lot of things.
Saffron, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we decided, didn't we, earlier at the beginning of the stream that Saf, nickname, and Ron were going to do a stream called Saf Ron. So watch this space. It may well happen.
It might be a cooking show. We never know.
Have you enjoyed yourself this evening, Sapphire? Apologies again for the technological hiccups that just tends to happen when I'm hosting.
Yeah, no, it's been good. Yeah. My first live stream ever.
Are you prepared to come on again? Hopefully,
yeah,
as long as I don't host. Yeah.
So I have to stick to it.
I think as long as you don't host and I'm not involved, she'll be fine.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I hope people haven't found me boring.
No, not at all.
My biggest fear in life.
You've definitely
far from boring. You
added to the stream today. Thank you.
You've done really well.
You've done really well.
So many compliments. I have to save these.
Yeah, so we can watch it back. That's the beauty. You can watch it back and you can be entertained by when we sat here going, is it working? Where's the chat gone? Probably mic's not working. We can't hear you. It looks like an onion. The list. Yeah. So what was planned to be, a semi-informative sort of chat has turned into a technological nightmare. Ron's sworn many times. Christian,
no, I haven't.
You have. You were a few. Christian swore a few. Anyway, it's been fun.
Yeah, I'd also like to say to John Wright, who just said, "Is it because softies aren't as profitable?" Most people tend to put the same markup on everything, so everything is as profitable as each other.
Unless you're a farmer, then you pay VAT on everything and never get to claim it back.
Yeah.
Go on then. I was going to wrap it up. Just jump into some of these comments. I think it's a confidence thing. We are told by many how hard and difficult saltwater tanks are. And then these weird and wonderful corals come along and we don't try the LPS and SPS just in case.
Yeah. I'd always say to people that go to a shop where you think they've got a really nice display tank. And if they've got a good display tank, it means they know how to look after corals. And if they know how to look after corals, they will give you good advice. Don't take advice from some random on Ultimate Reef with no post history. Take advice from somebody you really trust and know and can get to know your tank. And I always say to people, if you can put some time aside every week and you can follow instructions, you'll have a really nice tank.
It doesn't take a lot of time.
No, I said an hour a week.
We get on top of the main parameters and the testing. Every time you test
what you put in, don't you? Simple as.
Yeah. Once you're on top of it, it's kind of autopilot. You just got to keep checking things.
And don't buy disgustingly cheap equipment that doesn't do its job right. Don't buy cheap lights.
There's a lot of rubbish out there.
Yeah, buy decent lights. Spend your money on lights.
Yeah.
Question for Saffron: who's your favourite, Onion, Christian, or Ronaldo?
Well, I think no dish is complete without onions. So
hey, Onion for the win.
That's your one compliment.
Thanks, Saf.
I like them all. I like them all.
Come again on the stream, Sapphire. Very knowledgeable. Oh, you've got a fan base already.
Nice, thank you.
John, he's not far from you, actually. He's in Skeg, Vegas.
Oh, yeah, that's not too far. We get a lot of people from over that way.
Yeah. If he pays you a visit, you need to ask him for one of his famous John Wright mugs. He's got some very nice little China mugs that are very nice. So, John, you need to sort Sapphire out.
I feel like once you've got a John Wright mug, you've made it.
Oh, really? Definitely. You are in the... No, you need to be in the John Wright mug clique.
Oh, yeah.
Just FYI.
I've only ever been gifted one mug, actually, at work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, really sad.
Right, well, we'll wrap it up there. So thank you ever so much again, Sapphire, for coming on. Ron, you've been entertainment. That's all I can say. Thank you very much for your contribution and your support.
Bless you. Thanks, guys.
But no, Ron, you are going to be, I believe, supporting Drippy. I'll be in the background on Sunday morning because we're going to be doing the Sunday live. So that starts at 10 o'clock this Sunday. And I can't wait to see Drippy try and organise what I've tried to organise this evening. It should be anything, well, it should be entertaining, it's fair to say. But no, thanks ever so much for everybody for tuning in today. Thanks again, Sapphire and Ron. Hope everybody has a good weekend. I'd like to see some of you on the Sunday morning if you can. But for anybody else that we won't see, enjoy the rest of your Friday night, what's left, 10:20, and we'll see you all next week. Have a good weekend. Take care.
Thanks,
See you
everyone.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.